Alright everyone, welcome back, and today we are going to learn how to implement the token-based authentication in ASP.NET Core. And over here we'll be using something called as JWT tokens. So those who have watched my earlier videos, you guys should be familiar with this solution that I am building. The solution is checked into the GitHub repo, the link of which is mentioned in the description below. So let's get started. So first things first, we first need a package, that is the JWT bearer package. So let's go to the manage NuGet packages tab and let's add that package. So now you see this authentication type project is running on target framework net 8.0. So we'll have to choose a JWT bearer package which works on the similar framework. Now if you look at the latest one, probably the latest one is 9. If I go to NuGet.org and try to search for JWT bearer package, the most recent that you are going to see is 9.0.1. But because my project is based out of .NET 8, I would have to choose a package that works on this platform, right? So I'll be choosing the one that works on my project, and that is the 8.04. Now, if you are working on a different framework, probably you could choose a similar JWT bearer package. So let's install this. Let's hit apply. Okay, and so this is installed to my project over here. Now let's go back into this app settings.js. Okay, now over here I'll have to add something that can represent my key. So I'll have to add something over here that can represent my JWT key. Okay, so let this be this way only. And okay, so let me add something over here now. Let's add it here and let's call the new string as JWT. Okay, let's add a comma here. Let me fast forward this and then I'll explain you. Okay, so now I've added this block over here called JWT, and inside that I've got a key, then I've got my issuer, and then I've got my audience. Now what are issuer and audience, right? So key is something we already know. When a user tries to authenticate himself, he'll be passing in this key and then you'll be verifying it against this key if that is correct, and then we'll be giving him the JWT token. Now the issuer is something, issuer is what? Issuer is the place where this web server is hosted, where it is going to give out the JWT token. So in our case, our domain would be, if you go to launch settings and if you come down to this HTTPS, so our issuer will be this domain of ours, that is localhost 7133 and localhost 5140. So we'll add this over the place where we have written issuer. So let's add this over there, and then let's also add the other one 5140, or in fact let's just add the complete string here. So this is going to be our issuer. Now who's the audience? Now audience is the client. Now because our client again will be Swagger, and that will again be running on this very local host URL. So let's keep the same thing over here. Good. Now we are done with the JWT app settings, all the keys and the issuer and the audience things and stuff. Now let's come to this program.cs and we'll have to make some modifications over there. Now if you recall, we did this API key based authentication initially, okay, in the previous videos. So let me just comment this. Let me add a region and let me comment this. Okay, fine. And then we also added this middleware over there. Let me take out this. So if you are going to implement an API key handler, you will be needing this stuff. But because now we are going to implement the JWT token based authentication, we are getting rid of the API key based things that we did the previous time. So now let's add some configurations for the token authentication based thing. Also, let's uncomment this Swagger gen over here and let's start building the configurations for JWT. Okay, first things first. Now we need that key that we added over there, right? So let's read that out of the app settings file that where we added this. Okay, the autocomplete comes in, and here we need this builder object dot configuration, and inside that we need the key from our JWT set. Next, we need to add this. We need to add the JWT token to our pipeline, right? So this is how we add it. Now that add authentication will be there, but with a different kind of settings this time. JWT bearer default dot authentication scheme, and then to this add the JWT bearer, and then I need to specify some options over here. Nothing. This is going to be my arrow function like this. Let's add that option dot token validation parameters is equal new token. Okay, let's remove the full name. Okay, so we'll have to add that new zinc there, and then let's end this with a semicolon. Okay, now over here we'll have to specify a few options, one of which could be validate my issuer. Let's turn this to true. Then validate the audience. Let's turn that to true. Then also validate the lifetime, and then validate the issuer sign key true. And then what will be a valid issuer? A valid issuer will be again builder.configuration, and inside that JWT, and then the value that we put in the issuer section over there against the issuer key. Okay, and then we need the valid audience that will be builder.configuration. Again, just wait the JWT audience key from there, from the abstract. And then we need the issuer signing, that will be a new symmetric key type. So that let's pass our key. Okay, cool. This is the settings that we'll have to do for adding the JWT based authentication into our pipe. Okay, and then we have got this authentication and authorization added. Okay, so this is the settings that we'll have to do for adding the JWT based authentication. Now, if you recall, in our both API key handler and basic auth handler, we added a separate classes and then we plugged them into our middleware, right? Into a pipeline. But in this case, we have to add a controller class for the JWT token based auth. So let's add that and let's call it the auth controller, or let's call it the token auth controller. Let's add this over here. Okay, we get that. Now this will be coming from the controller base. Okay, and then inside that, let's add a route to it. So if add the route over here as API auth, and then mark this as API controller. Then let's add a constructor to it, and we'll fill this constructor later. But let's first add this API method or the action controller method. So let's call it public action result, and then let's make it login method. And this will take in from the body, it will take in a user. Let's call it user login model, and then we need a user object out. Okay, first let's complete this login model over here. So I'll go to, let's generate this class. Well, it has come into this controller, but it should have gone into this models folder. But for now, because this is what we are trying to achieve, let's just add it anywhere. And inside this model, let's add two fields, username and password. Okay, and then add public string. Let's just do a tab and we'll get all of it. Okay, let's get back to our action controller method and let's start implementing this method now, which is actually going to authenticate our user. So if the user.username equals admin and user.password equals password, then we need to issue the token, right? So let's add a method for issuing a token first. Let's make it a private string method and let's call it generate JWT token and pass in the username. We'll be using that as our claim. Okay, so over here, let's get the security key, symmetric security key, and get byte. And from this, so we need a handle to this app settings file, right? The place where we added our JWT key, issuer, and the audience, right? So this ASP.NET Core has this built-in TI container that will initialize the dependencies for us. So we should get this I configuration inside the constructor, and from this config object, we'll be able to get a handle to the app settings class. Okay, and then let's assign this configuration is equal to config. And now if I try to read my config from here, I shall get it. Configuration dot. So if the names are not correct, probably this will give me an error. Something is wrong or n is missing. And then we need the signing credentials also. So let's make another object over here. New signing signing credentials, one of which will be security key, and then the security algorithm dot. Let's use the HMAC SHA-256. You can use any other you want. You can build your own cryptography. And then now, once we have got this, we need to make our claims, right? We already learned about claims in our previous video where I was explaining what claims are and where are they used. So let's make a new claim, registered claim name, product, make it the username. And let's add another claim, JWT, registered claim name, .jti. That is going to be my GUID, and a new GUID every time. That's going to be unique, .toString. Okay. And then once we have got this claim, let's make a token, new JWT security token, and fill it with the things that we just added above. So one of which is the JWT issuer. So let me copy this. Let me add this over here. here, and instead of key, let's add the issuer to it. Then let's add configuration and copy this again, let's make it audience. Okay, then let's add claims, and then let's add files. I mean, you can do it for hours or days or minutes or whatever you want, but for now let's just keep it to add days. Okay, so what I've done over here is I've fetched a security key, I've made a credential out of that security key, then I've made my claims, and then I'm initializing a token, the issuer of which is our domain itself. Audience is going to be our domain again in our case. Then this claims, and then this I've set the expiry of this token, and then I've also set the signing credentials to be the same credentials which I created above. And then I'm creating a token, and then it is being returned back. So let's come back to this method of where we are trying to log in. So now once the username and password have been verified, what are we going to do is we are going to say, okay, my token now is going to be coming up from the generate JWT token method, to which we'll pass the user.username, and then we are going to return okay, because it is going to return an IAction result. So okay of new token. So this is going to come up in our response section. And then if that is not the case, then we say, okay, this is not authorized, unauthorized. Okay, so this is how JWT token can be implemented. One more thing over here, we'll have to add this HTTP post, because we are going to do a post request. Let's call it login. Okay, so our URL becomes API/auth/login. Okay, cool. Now what next? Now once this is authenticated, we know that for a JWT token scenario, we know that all our further requests after this will carry that token, right, in all other requests. So we go back to our weather forecast controller, and if you recall, we commented this authorized keyword over here because we didn't want it, because when we did the API based key authentication, we did not require this. But for now, let's bring it back because this is required when we are doing the token based authentication. Okay, so route of this is controller, and then we have got it authorized, and so it should work. Okay, so now let's test it. Now let's see if it is working. So now let's run the application and let's see if it is working. Okay, so Swagger has come up and it is showing me that auth controller. Let's hit try it out, and over here I'll have to enter my username and password. The username we said was admin, and then the password we gave was password. Okay, let's change this captcha to small. Let's hit execute and let's see. Okay, so we have come inside this our token authentication controller inside the login action method, and let's see if it okay, now it is inside the generate JWT token, and we should get our security key now. So you might see it in bytes, so it is of 11 bytes, so this is pretty small. Okay, but let's see. Let's go further in. Then we got the credentials also, and it was encoded using the SHA-256 algorithm. Let's create the claims and now the tokens, and yes, so it has, I think it has failed somewhere. Yeah, so it says the encryption algorithm requires a key size of at least 128 bits. So yes, as obvious, we gave it a very small key, and the encryption mechanism that we use, that is SHA-256, that at least require a 128-bit long key. Okay, so let's increase the length of this key. You can use any random generator also for that matter, but for now, let's add something. My secret key for my JWT authentication mechanism. Okay, so let this be my key, and I'm pretty sure this will give it a 128-bit long length. So let's hit the run again and let's see what's if we were able to fix that issue. So in a real world scenario, you would use some key generator to generate that key, but for now we have just hard coded some string over there. So let's stick with this, and we should be able to fix that issue. So the Swagger has come up again. Let's hit the try it out for this authentication controller. Let's change the username again to admin, password to password, and let's see if we are able to fix that issue now. Okay, let me just continue this and let's go inside. So it fails here. Okay, so now it has passed and we have got our token very well. Let's see what is the token that we get. So if I come to this response section, server response over here. Okay, so this is my token, right? Now we should see a header part over here, and then we should see a payload, and then we should see a signing mechanism. Yeah, you see this dot over here. Now this is my header, this is my payload, the next part is my payload, which is made up of claims, and this is signing. So all the three parts have been encrypted using the SHA-256 encryption mechanism. Now we need to hit the weather forecast, and when we request for the weather forecast, we should also be able to give our JWT token into it in the request header, right? But I think we have not provisioned it. So if I hit try it out now, I should get an unauthorized error. Yes, we got 401. Okay, so that means this request was not authorized, and also we have added a breakpoint to this weather forecast controller. So it did not come here. That means it failed in the pipeline. It was the request that we sent was not authorized. So I think it is working. All we need to do is provision passing the request header into this request into all other requests that we do apart from the token request. Cool. So how do we do that now? So now let's head back to program.cs, and over here we added the token validation parameters. And so if you recall, we added this settings into the Swagger gen when we were testing for API key and the basic authentication. Somewhat similar kind of thing we'll have to do over here also. So how do we do that? What is the code for that, right? So before we add Swagger gen, what we'll do, we'll be adding or configuring Swagger to support the JWT authentication, right? So builder.services.add Swagger gen options we already have. So in this Swagger gen, what we are going to do is we are going to say use these options. Let me fast forward this and I'll explain you. And let's have some description saying enter bearer followed by your token. So whatever token we get, we'll be able to now add them into the Swagger. One more thing we'll have to do is options.add security requirement and new open API security requirement. Okay, let me fast forward this again. Okay, so now what I've done is I've configured my Swagger so that it can take a JWT token in its request. How I've done this, I've added a security definition to Swagger, the options for which will tell it that okay, you take an authorization header whose bearer format is going to be of JWT type and it will be a part of the header, and then there is some description. So this code will help us to configure Swagger to take a JWT token. Okay, so now let's test this and see if it works. Okay, so the Swagger has come up. Let's hit the authorize here, and over here we will be able to enter the token that we get. So for now, let's close this and let's hit the token authentication controller, and let's pass in our username, which is admin again, and the password as password. Okay, and then let's hit execute. Let's continue this and we should get our token. Yeah, so we did get our token. Let's copy this. So now let's copy this token and let's hit authorize and enter our token here, and let's hit authorize now. And now when we make the request to this weather forecast controller, we should have the token inside our request and it should hit our controller method. Let's see. And yes, so the moment we came here, that means our authorization has happened and we have been very well authenticated and authorized to access this resource. So that means it is working. Let's hit continue and we should see a 200 OK response over there, and we did. We got this 200 code. This is the response body that we got from that, and we are doing good for this token based authentication. So this is it for the token based authentication. If you like this video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Thank you.